Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to calculate the capacity of surgeries per day if the number of operating rooms were the constraint. So in the previous video, we calculated capacity constraint based on if the surgeons were the constraining factor in terms of the number of surgeries that we can perform in any given day. Okay. Now we're going to shift that capacity constraint and assume that our surgeons can perform an infinite number of surgeries. And now it's just a matter of, do we have enough operating space to perform those surgeries? What I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to do a little cheat now, is I'm going to select my surgeon model. I'm going to Control C to copy, and I'm going to Control V to paste. Okay, so all I did was copy and paste. I'm going to zoom in again now. Okay, I'm going to call this now operating room as constraint. Okay. I'm going to say here, since a room doesn't exactly have a shift, I'm just going to say operating hours per day. So how many hours in the day can we possibly do surgeries? Can we possibly perform surgeries? Well, it's a room, right? So presumably we can operate in that room 24 hours a day, right? Like, is there any reason why we can't perform surgery at night? Like, we will just turn on the lights, right? Just as long as we have the people. But the room itself is available 24 hours of a day. Okay. The average length of surgery is going to be the same. And since we already have this in the previous model, in the surgeon's model, I'm going to say equals, and I'm going to reference this average length of surgery. I'm going to press enter. And since this is now a formula, I'm going to go ahead, and I'm going to make that text red. That way I know it's a that it's a reference, that it's a formula. Same thing here. I'm going to equals that. Okay. 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 If we're allowing our operating rooms to conduct operations 24 hours a day, and each surgery is an hour in length, presumably we can fulfill and perform 24 surgeries in any given day. Okay. 24 surgeries per max number of surgeries per OR per day, number of operating rooms. Okay. And I do believe we have 5 operating rooms. Okay. That means if we ran all 5 operating rooms 24 hours a day, we should be able to complete 120 surgeries per day. Okay. Days per week, maximally 7, right? And right now we run 8 hours of surgeries, right? So some doctors do it in the AM, some doctors do it in the PM. Well, actually, the first surgery starts at 7:30 and then runs until lunch, about 12. So we'll do 3.5 plus actually another 3.5 after lunch. So right now we have 7 hours of surgery, right? On all 5 ORs, and we only perform surgeries on 5 days a week. So now when we look at it, right, if we ran the operating room at its maximal capacity, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, we would be able to accommodate 840 surgeries, right? So this capacity is quite large, right? It's larger than the doctors. So if it's a matter of like maximal capacity, the surgeons would be the bottleneck, not the number of operating rooms, because if we utilize the operating rooms to their absolute maximum, we can do 840 surgeries. Whereas if we ran our surgeons to the maximum, they would only be able to do 500 surgeries. Now, as it stands, right, the operating room looks like a constraint, because the maximal number of operations that we can conduct by running 7 hours of operations on 5 ORs on 5 days a week, we can only complete 175 surgeries per week. Maybe this estimate is a little low. Let's assume that we run the operating room for like 8-hour shifts, right? So depending on what you want this number to be, right? If we run operating rooms 8 hours a day, and we kind of stagger our surgeons in a way where we can run the operating rooms 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, then presumably the operating rooms can accommodate 200 surgeries. Whereas if we ran our surgeons the way that we're currently running them right now, we can perform 180 surgeries. So the small number, right, in our comparison will be the bottleneck. So if we ran an 8-hour operating day, then our surgeons are the bottleneck. If we ran a 7-hour operating day, the number of operating rooms is going to be the constraint, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and change this to 8. Okay. And that's how you would calculate the capacity of the operating room. So I'll just write here, capacity of the ORs, right? And this is capacity of the doctors, okay? And in the next video, we'll come back and we will calculate the capacity of our hospital beds and see if that is the constraint.